Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So we're coming in here to, I guess this would be the second day of Trump's presidency, and the crypto market, we're still kind of waiting for those executive orders. One of them being a lot of people are waiting for the Ross Ulbricht pardoning that he had promised on day one, and then we're also kind of waiting for the more mention of crypto. Yesterday, whenever he did the inauguration speeches, I think a lot of people were expecting some sort of mention of cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, some sort of committee action that he was going to do to move forward with this, adoption within America. And then a lot more people got upset because there was this document here that was released from the White House saying, so basically it's outlining the priorities of the White House, and you can pretty much sum it up into a couple categories. This first one here is, make America safe again, where it talks about like the border and cities and whatnot, and things, initiatives that he's going to take to go after that, that goal. The next one being that the make America affordable again and energy dominant again. So talking about like oil, things he's going to do in that nature. But there's no mention of Bitcoin, no mention of cryptocurrency, which, that upset quite a few people. A lot of people were expecting there at least to be some mention of it within this document. But I think what a lot of people are missing, we come over here, he still holds $200 million worth of Ethereum, and then, total holdings, $344 million worth of cryptocurrencies. And the majority of that was brought in, purchased a day or two before the inauguration. So I think that people kind of jumped the gun a little bit. Today alone, he's supposed to do 200 executive orders, and Bitcoin or crypto or the committee that he had talked about could very easily be one of those executive orders. I think that, just because it wasn't done on inauguration day doesn't necessarily mean that it's not going to be done. It's still very early. So I say just take a breath. Let's see what happens. He could be meaning that, today is the first official day, like full day, whereas yesterday was, there was a lot of balls, a lot of parties going on, celebratory events. So maybe it just wasn't at the absolute top of the priority list, which is understandable. Now, kind of like what I talked about in the previous video, where all we need, right, and what I think that this is going to play out is I think that we're going to see an executive order come first related to whether that's setting up a committee of people that's going to push legislation to have a Bitcoin or crypto related reserve, or just to have a directive saying that we're going to be much more accepting of it within the crypto community in America. And what that'll do is it's going to signal a shift. Like, okay, he is serious about this. This is going forward and it's happening. And I think that what we'll see is, so for example, let's say that he comes out and he says, hey, we're going to do this, crypto reserve thing. So it's on the books, it's processing, it's working, but maybe it's not getting funded yet, because funding does require an act of Congress. Congress is the only one that can actually spend money within the government. So, you create the reserve, then the Congress has to approve and fund it. But in the meantime, what we're going to end up seeing is we're going to see a big influx of buyers in the ETFs, because if there's a lag, okay, the investor's mindset and these institutional investor mindsets are going to be, so the government is going to start loading up on cryptocurrencies. The America is going to be, they're actually doing it. America is going to be much more favorable to the crypto community, this industry growing. So I want to get a head start before the government starts buying, and I want to start getting into these ETFs and adding it to my portfolio. BlackRock talks about, it was either 1 to 3 or 1 to 5% allocation for, I believe it was Bitcoin, or it might have been split between Bitcoin and Ethereum. But the idea here is that this is going to signal a shift to where they take it much more seriously. This is a real asset. This is going to be national news. And you're going to see a lot of, baby boomers retirements. They're going to start opening their eyes. Wait a second. The president is now making it so that the government is buying these assets. Why aren't they in my portfolio? So it's going to lend a lot more credibility to the industry overall. And I think that we're going to see a much broader shift and a lot more investment coming into the space because of the executive order. As soon as he starts saying, anything related to crypto, and taking action towards it, that's going to be the starting line. That's going to be the shift in the entire country. We're just waiting on that. Like I said, 200 executive orders supposed to be coming out today, so I do expect it should be at least one of those, or if not, we'll find out something here fairly quickly. I doubt that he would just ghost the industry, especially because he has such a huge financial interest himself. I mean, we've already seen what he's done with taking advantage of the Trump coin, and I mean, he's made billions of dollars off of that. So why not pursue it further? I mean, we've already seen where his money is invested within the portfolio that we just talked about. So I see no reason why he would just abandon it and not proceed forward with more pro-crypto legislation or executive orders. And other than the investment part of it, we're already seeing companies eagerly wanting to come back to the United States. We're already seeing these cryptocurrency companies saying, "Hey, I need to move to the U.S. I need to start moving my home base to the U.S. from wherever they may be, Switzerland or wherever." And what that's going to do is it's also signaling a shift in what I would say the developer community, because now there's a lot more, not so much just cryptocurrencies, but or crypto-related companies, but traditional companies. Traditional companies in America are going to signal they're going to see the shift, and they're going to say, "Oh, now I can expand my business out into crypto." And so, for example, on Ethereum, I think that we're going to see more and more US-based companies starting to launch their own layer 2, and then they're going to build out their entire ecosystem on top of that at layer 2. So I'm thinking, like, for example, just a bank, right? Wells Fargo, they build out a layer 2. They build out checking accounts. They build out stable coins. They build out investment loan type of infrastructure that are built on top of this decentralized platform called Ethereum. Meanwhile, what that's going to do once that launches is they're instantly going to onboard all of their existing clientele. And that's a really big deal because they're bringing their trust. You're bringing the brand. Cryptocurrency, even today, kind of has this stigma, especially with dealing with the intricacies of wallets and everything, is that there are scams within the industry, and that's unfortunate. But whenever you have these big companies launching these layer 2s, they're bringing their brand, they're bringing their trust, they're bringing their existing clientele, and people, they continue. I see on Twitter all the time people talking about, we need our next, our iPhone moment that just brings on all the adoption, and that's what's going to happen whenever these companies start building their own ecosystems and they just onboard their clientele. Once the infrastructure is built, they just, hey guys, come on, let's just go ahead and hop on the blockchain here. And a lot of times I think it's going to be a situation where they don't even realize that they've been moved onto the blockchain. If you have $1 in your checking account, the only way you'll know whether it's $1 or, just how it is right now, like a stable coin versus just a regular checking account, is if maybe they have like a USDW that stands for like USD Wells Fargo, something like that. But it's going to be so easily integrated into our daily lives that the average person won't even notice. So, and I think it's a big deal because I think that that's kind of been the barrier for a lot of these big companies that's prevented them essentially from starting to build and work on Ethereum or just the crypto space in general, is just this fear of the government regulatory uncertainty and having an administration and a government that's very hostile to crypto. We saw that with Gary Gensler and how he was just going after any and every single crypto-related company that he could possibly get his hands on, and now he's gone, and we have a pro SEC. So things are in motion, things are moving, and I think I'm very optimistic going forward. So we'll just have to see how this plays out. Keep a lookout. As soon as we get an update on the executive orders, I'll probably make a video and update y'all. So keep a lookout for that video, and until next time, y'all take care.